Madison, tell me, a report today on the investment performance of iwi. How are they doing?
Yeah, TDB Advisory, which is a business advisory firm, they've compared the investment success and also not so successful of 8 iwi, and they chose them based on their population size. I mean, these things are usually pretty big, and also the worth of their assets is also how they measured them up as well. So in total, these 8 iwi oversee about $5.5 billion worth of assets. So they're pretty lucrative entities. And what this comparative report found was that Ngāti Whātua has by far done the best in the years between 2013 and 2018 over that 5-year period. So on an average annual return basis over those past 5 years, Ngāti Whātua came out with a 15% average annual return, which is pretty whopping. And then second up was Ngāi Tahu, so they're based in the South Island. They invest in largely private equity. They came out with a 12% average annual return over that same period. The benchmark across the 8 was about 8.5%, and some of them obviously did come below that average number as well. And surprisingly, Tainui Holdings, which is actually the second largest iwi in terms of the amount of assets that are overseas, it oversees about $1.4 billion worth of mostly property assets, and that actually came up with a 7% average annual return, so slightly below the benchmark. The worst performing ones were the East Cape's Ngāti Porou and Ngāti Awa in the Bay of Plenty. And it does also beg the question of whether or not, are they cheating? Because given their financial success, they also have had a pretty decent financial head start. I mean, most of these entities are operating on off the back of their treaty settlement claims from the Crown, which have dated back to about 1995. Now, across these 8 large iwi, my calculations show that they had about $709 million worth of settlement claims. But then also you have to give credit to Ngāpuhi, which hasn't actually settled their claim yet. Theirs is still under negotiation, and they came out still with a pretty decent average annual return of 5%. So that kind of debunks that claim.
Quite a big spread in the returns, isn't there? Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so reporting season kicks off next week. Who's on the hit list?
Well, there's actually about 80 listed companies, so we're going to be really busy. It's a very long list, that one, Lisa. So this is about the first time we'll probably hear at least a decent amount and some decent coverage from some of our largest companies, and certainly our listed companies in New Zealand. So we've got the power sector there, so our 4 largest gentailers, which generate and sell electricity. We've got them on the hit parade as well. We've also got retirement villages, so some of the larger ones there like MetLife Care in Somerset. Local banks too, so that'll be quite interesting given what we just heard about Australian banks across the ditch. We've got retailers, so your classic ones like Warehouse Group and Briscoe Group. Tourism operators, Auckland Airport and Air New Zealand, they're usually pretty closely tied, those ones. Sky City as well, the high rolling gambling business as well, they kind of come under the realm of a tourism operator. But ones that we'll certainly be watching out for will be the likes of Fletcher Building, so they're reporting their half year. I mean, the struggles just continue there. We're probably likely to hear more of the same, and they might tell us a bit more about what they're doing to rectify some of those issues, if anything. We've also got Spark and Sky TV, which could be interesting too, but it's not our first rodeo, so I'm sure we'll ask all the right questions.
Okay, what's been happening on the markets today?
The NZX Top 50 Index closed up nearly 0.5% tonight, so it had a gain of 43 points to close at 9,177, and the dollar's buying at 67.5 US cents, 95.4 to the Australian and 52.2 British pence.